So what are the benefits of having a round pen and pencil versus a hexagon or tripod shaped pen and pencil? Let's talk about that. So a round pen and pencil here. The benefit of having a round pen or pencil is that you don't have to worry about the issue of the size of your fingers getting sore or getting indentations onto your hand because of when you're drawing. This is mainly beneficial if you're drawing with a ballpoint pen or say a pencil, which would be better to have a rounded shape or have a hexagonal shape that has the edges of it rounded off some. So what I mean is there's actually a total of 5 different shapes that you have. So you've got one, which is the round, and then number 2, which is the hexagon shape. Number 3 is the same as that, but it has its sides to where instead of a side that's sharp point, such as this, what you're going to have is that corner there is going to be rounded off. So instead of that shape, it's going to be rounded off like that some. So what you get is more of a rounded angled edge. So that's helpful for when you're drawing so that your hands don't get sore and you don't get those indentations in your fingers. And if you draw a whole bunch, if you have a really sharp edge to a pencil and you draw for many hours, you can actually form blisters on your hands. I've actually had that happen to me before because I spend 6 hours or more drawing every day. And so the benefit of a rounded pencil is you don't have to worry about that. Now the downside of using a round pencil or pen is, say for example you have it setting on your desk. Now while setting your desk, if it's perfectly even, you might not have an issue because it's not moving now because I've got everything pretty level. But a lot of times if you have a desk that's just slightly off, the pen and pencil is going to roll away, and that can be frustrating, especially if you're drawing on a drawing table that is slightly slanted. It can be difficult to keep your pens and pencils from sliding all over the place. But to get around that, you could just angle it this way, such as if your, say for example, your table is angled like that, you could just lay your pens or pencils in this direction rather than that way so they don't roll downwards. So that's that. And number 4, which is the tripod shape of a pen or pencil, and the edges of it are rounded. They're not pointy like as in my drawing here. The edges of it are kind of rounded like the rounded hexagon shape. So you get more of a shape like this. Edges are all rounded, so you don't got to worry about the issues with it bothering your hands. So what is the benefit of the hexagonal pencil over the rounded one? Now the hexagonal one isn't going to roll over the place. You don't have to worry about that. With the round one you do. So there's 2 different kinds of the hexagon shapes. There's the ones with the rounded corners and the ones that don't have the rounded corners. I don't actually have any pencils I know of that actually have the hexagon shape to where the edge of it is sharp. They're all rounded slightly, so it makes it comfortable for writing. And another benefit with these is that if you're a beginner at drawing, it gives you a better grip when you're holding it. It allows it to stay in your hand better. So for beginners, it's helpful as well. Whereas with a round pencil when you're drawing, you might want to rotate the pencil. And the reason you might want to rotate it is because while drawing, the edge of the pencil will change shape. And as you're drawing, you want to turn the pencil so that you get a point on the pencil. And sometimes you might want to draw more boldly, and so you change the angle of it. And also, as if your hands get sweating, You can just keep rolling your hand, keep your finger from getting too sweaty. It'll get more air to your hand and all that. That makes it more comfortable. And between the hexagonal and the tripod, for me personally, I prefer the tripod grip for pens because my hand always stays in one position, so I don't got to worry about turning the pen or nothing like that. It just stays one way, and then I just go in and make my lines from there. The benefit of the tripod shape over the round, of course, is that it doesn't roll as much as the rounded one. If I show an example, if I bump this pen slightly, it's going to roll all the way across the table. Whereas if I have a pen that is tripod shaped, if I do this, sure, it might roll. That's because I pushed it really hard. But if I just slightly bump it, it's not going to go as much. Although my table is a slight angle a little bit that way. I'll give you a better example. So let's say I bump it this way. It doesn't roll all over the place. Whereas if I do it with this one, it's going to go that way and then come back because my table's at this bit of an angle. See? So that's one thing about the round pen or pencil versus the tripod. Now, as far as pencils and pens, like between the hexagon shape and the tripod one isn't going to roll as much as the hexagon shape, because the more sides there are to it, the more likely it is to roll, because every time it hits, it's got more to overcome to roll over. And for beginners, if you want to draw with pen, I would suggest starting out with a tripod shaped pen like this. If you want to learn proper hand control and to make sure that you always have your hand in the proper position. Some fountain pens come in this shape. There's pens such as the one I have here that come in that shape as well. There's a tripod, and I find them more comfortable if I'm trying to do something very detailed and I don't want to keep moving my hand and stuff. So there's that. They do make tripod shaped pencils. They're a little bit harder to find, but not really that hard. I'll be leaving a link in the description of this video so you can find all these pens and pencils below if you're wanting a tripod shaped, a round shape, or a hexagon. You can find any of those. And the final shape, a lot of you might know them, those do construction or work on things might, is the Carpenter's pencil. It's more of a rectangle, and I don't actually have any Carpenter's pencils because I never had the need for them. I've got every other kind of pen and pencils that I can imagine, and but I think sometime I'll try and surprise everybody with a drawing with one, see how that turns out. But the number 5, the fifth example of a different pen and pencil shapes is the Carpenter's pencil is obviously used for carpentry, construction, making lines and stuff like that. So you're not really going to see that in with drawing pencils and pens. So the main ones you're going to see is just 1 through 4 here. Those are the most popular. And with pens, the most popular is going to be the round. And with pencils is going to be the rounded hexagon shape of pencil. And the reason for round with pens is because of you don't need to turn the pen like you would with a pencil. And a lot of times when people are using pencils, most of the people that use them are high school, college students, or people that are new to drawing. So they usually are moving around a lot of stuff, or maybe really young people use pencils, and so they don't want to getting knocked off the table. But so that's why usually a lot of times you see older people drawing. They usually use pens, and so if you had a rounded pencil, the problem I think you would have with that if you had a rounded pencil is that you would kind of have a hard time with your grip a little bit, because I've noticed that for my colored pencils, some when I'm holding those compared to when I'm holding my hexagon shaped pencils, I have a better grip with the pencils than I do the rounded colored pencils or any pencils I've used. So that's the benefit of that is hexagon has a better grip. Tripod has a great grip and is good for beginners if you want to learn the proper hand position. And round is usually the ones you find in a lot of pens. An exception would be the Lamy Safari fountain pen. It's got a tripod grip, which I actually do find very comfortable. Probably just a personal preference for me. I kind of prefer tripod gripped pens and pencils and fountain pens. They seem to just fit better in my hand. And so, if you have any suggestions about any other pen shapes or different types of pens you'd like to see me do a demonstration with, or know any advice about what I should add to this, or any other questions in general, just go ahead and let me know in the comments down below, and I'll just go from there and answer your questions. But for now, I'm going to go work on some drawings with these, and I think today I might do some graphite drawing. I've been doing a lot of pen drawing, but not a whole lot of graphite recently. I think I'll go back to my roots and start using the old number 2 Ticonderoga pencil that pretty much everybody had in school. Well, back in my day, I'm not that old. I'm not even 30 yet, but most of the technology stuff is advancing a lot, and people don't use the same things they used to. But anyways, nonetheless, probably going to start using this pencil here for drawing today and see how that turns out. And I'll have that drawing video posted here soon within the next week or so. So stick around and watch out for it. But for now, thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out the links below this video. And if you have any questions, like I said earlier, go ahead and let me know, and I will get to them as soon as I can. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching this video, and you have a great day, and stay warm this winter.